Good evening, Council and City staff. I'm here tonight to talk about consistency. Consistency is the one thing that we as residents can relate. For example, we as residents can state unequivocally that the Council is consistent in its quest to prevent the public from expressing their comments at a Council meeting. A couple of you have expressed that you want emailed public comments to be read aloud at the Council meeting, but as you see on the agenda tonight, that is still not the case. The City Council is the first council that is not reading emails submitted to the City Clerk. In fact, we go back for years. There's been numerous comments which have been emailed to the City and read into the record long before the current COVID pandemic. In fact, the City Council is the only city in the surrounding area that is not reading email comments aloud during council meetings and whilst in the middle of a public health crisis. If you really want to hear from the public, then you should read emails submitted to the City, just as the City has done for many years and just as the City has done for months until some comments read were not favorable to this City Council. On item number 7 tonight, you are considering the purchase agreement for the sale of Sunset Field, the Queen of the Valley Hospital. Just want to remind you that the City Council, that the sale of that land has a stipulation to use all the funds to acquire new parkland. As the staff report states, the city did acquire 2 parcels of land adjacent to Cameron Park and Palm View Park prior to the sale being complete. However, if you remember correctly, the general fund dollars were used to fund some of that purchase amount, and the general fund should be able to be paid back from that new park acquisition fund. As I can tell, the amount of $1 million was paid by Eminent Health already to fund the purchase of those parcels, and the city used about $465,000 out of the general fund. If I may, I would recommend that we use the $465,000 coming back to the general fund to purchase some of that fire equipment that's outdated and deemed unsafe so that our fire department has required equipment to keep them safe. I stand here tonight to reiterate that I am opposed to any change to Los Angeles County Fire, and these upgrades would reduce our costs and lessen the burden on our budget going forward. Finally, I want to address the big topic that was brought up at the last council meeting. It appears that this council is looking to review the sale of alcohol at gas stations once again. Only about 10 months ago, this city council issued a decision on this very topic. In fact, the late Forrest Wilkins had spoken at countless city council meetings and planning commission meetings against this very topic. In fact, he circulated a petition and received substantial support from residents to leave the ordinance in place as is. I believe there was several hundred signatures, and Councilman Lloyd Johnson was very proud to have been one of those signatures. In an email to residents, Mr. Johnson explained that he is pro-West Covina business position and the city needs revenue. Let's look at this from a little bit of a business perspective. Everyone can follow along with a calculator if you want. If you take the approximate 8 gas stations that would qualify to sell alcohol on the last Planning Commission's recommendations and assume that each gas station will see about a $10,000 per month increase in sales, let's also use a 10% sales tax for easy math, even though our sales tax is only 9.5%. Here's the calculation. 8 gas stations at $10,000 in additional sales each month totals about $80,000 in a month for all of those 8 gas stations. $80,000 a month multiplied by 12 months equals $960,000 in total revenue for those 8 gas stations. The sales tax collected by the state of California at 10%, we'll say, is about $96,000 a year for those 8 gas stations. However, the city of West Covina only gets 1% of that sales tax collected, which means the city of West Covina will get $9,600 a year in revenue allowing for the sale of alcohol at those 8 gas stations. This is a conservative estimate, as we used a higher tax rate and probably a higher amount of monthly sales than what will actually happen at those 8 gas stations. The city of West Covina has spent far more than $10,000 in staff time and effort to prepare all of the information that the city council will need to review this between the meetings last year and now. The only businesses that will benefit from this are those 8 gas stations that will be allowed to sell the alcohol. So it is only pro-business for those 8 gas stations. In fact, most other businesses will see sales revenue slump or lose, so there may not even be a net gain for the businesses in the businesses or city revenue. So, tell me again why we are spending so much time on this for only $10,000 a year in city revenue. Tell me how we will use that, how not use up that revenue and added police responses to those businesses. and tell me again why we are looking to change this insignificant ordinance once again for mere pennies in our city budget. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate. Okay.